Hi, and welcome to Studio SN. My name is Sara Naumann, and today we're stamping with big brush pens. Big brush pens from Faber-Castell are filled with waterproof permanent India ink, and the big brush tip makes them ideal for coloring stamps and creating really soft, pretty backgrounds. And those are the two techniques that I've done today on the fronts of my card. So this really pretty wash of a background that you see here, as well as the stamped feather, those are both done using the big brush pens. So I'll show you the techniques, but let me show you the pens first before we get started so you know what I'm talking about. These are the three colors that I used on the fronts of my card, and you can tell by the pens themselves that they have a wider barrel than a standard marker, so it's a little bit chunkier barrel. They also have a different tip, so whereas you may be used to seeing a chisel tip or a fine tip, this is a nice wide brush tip, which means that it can cover a large surface really pretty quickly. So let me just show you. If you're just to draw a line on cardstock, this is the width of the line that you'll get. Now if you hold the pen at an angle, you can get a really wide line as well. So this is the benefit to using these pens, especially when you're covering large surfaces. So we're going to start with that soft wash of a background, and I'm using a white matte cardstock, so smooth cardstock, and I've got a nice cleanish acrylic block here, somewhat stained. It's well used. And this is what I'm going to use as my stamp for my wash background. And this is the light green marker that I'm using. And I'll put this on here so you can see. I'll just scribble the color on here. And then I'm going to spritz this with water, just a couple of quick spritzes, and bring it over here and then use it as a stamp. Turn this over. I still have some ink on here. Give it another spritz and reposition, overlapping, and press that on there. And then I have a soft, organic sort of blobby effect, but really pretty, quick, easy to do. And of course, you don't need any special supplies other than your acrylic block. Then you just need to let this dry, and you can hit it with a heat gun or you can let it air dry, and you'll have an effect like this. So soft and pretty. Then I'm going to stamp my feather on top of this. So I've got my feather mounted up onto my acrylic block, and the stamps that I'm using are from hot off the press. This is their Feathers stamp set, and it's one that I find myself using again and again because it's really very versatile. So I'm going to be coloring with my markers directly onto my stamp, and then I'll spritz it with a little bit of water. So I want to have my water mister on hand as well. And the three colors I'm working with are the light green, the May green, and then I'll finish with the cobalt green. So I'm working from dark to medium to light on here. So starting with that light green, I'm just going to scribble the color all over the stamp. So I'm covering it completely, working fairly quickly, and also holding the pen at an angle so that I can get nice even coverage on there. Then I'm going to come in with that May green and add a little bit more color, a bit more randomly, not trying to cover the entire feather. And then come in with that cobalt green. And for this, I'm concentrating the color a little bit more in the center and then also on the tips of that feather. And then I'm going to spritz this with water. And I'm going to use just a couple of quick spritzes here. I don't want to over flood it, but if you add a lot of water, you get a really nice, very watercolor effect. And then I'm just going to stamp this on here, pressing firmly and evenly. You can kind of see where the water hits the background paper on there. And then lift that off, and I have my stamped image on here. It looks like I could have gotten a little bit more in the center there, but it helps to stand when you're stamping, and I'm sitting down. So then I just need to let this dry, and I'm set to use it on the front of my card. So let me bring back in my card, and we can talk about how that's been put together. So I've just simply mounted this up onto some black cardstock, and the black cardstock is meant to coordinate with the black ink I used to stamp this sentiment. And this sentiment is also on that feather stamp set from hot off the press as well. So I've got it onto black cardstock, onto green, a little bit of white, and then also some teal going on half of my card back here, and then some kind of a khaki color back here on the front of my card as well. I accented this with a few self-adhesive gemstones, and then to coordinate with that silver, I used some silver embroidery thread on here too. A little bit of sheer ribbon just tied in a bow and glued down at the bottom, and you have a quick and easy card. So this is how you can use the big brush pens for easy backgrounds and stamped card focals. I hope you enjoyed today's show. For more ideas and inspiration, please stop by my website at saranaumann.com. If you enjoyed today's video, I invite you to subscribe to Studio SN on YouTube, and I'll keep you updated with a new video every Wednesday. Thank you for joining me on Studio SN, and I will see you again next time.